Welcome to another horrid, terrible, despicable, abominable episode of the Apocalypse. Congratulations for choosing the Apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the Apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that very tired guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you again. I wasn't going to do this, but there is so much to talk about. It appears Donnie's dementia and just sincere stupidity has led to him posting about a miracle bed. And I have a feeling Donnie thought it was real, and thought he would be praised a millionfold across the universe for unveiling this miracle. Of course, he would take the credit as well. Were it real? Anyway, let's begin. Trump tonight appears to have pushed the false medbed conspiracy theory, which has spread in far-right internet over the years. Now, this is one I have not heard of. I have a feeling we're going into that movie territory. Matt Damon was in it, where the elites lived in a kind of satellite city above the earth in space, and they had technology where you could just get inside this chamber and it would heal you. I guess that's where Vlad and the right-wing machine stole this conspiracy from, to serve to the rubes online. I had never heard of it, except in a movie. So Donnie posted this, and it looks like this. It's a story about the miracle bed, I guess. And I'll let Daniel Dale explain it, because I didn't know shit about it until today. Last night, the president posted a fictional Fox News report in which an AI version of himself announced a new, non-existent policy of giving every American a free MedBed card to give them guaranteed access to imaginary hospitals in which they can be returned to full health by imaginary magical MedBeds, a conspiracy theory that circulates in an obscure fraction of the online far right. Obscure indeed, because I've been all over the internet the past, 15 years, and I had never heard of this one. I did see it in a movie, again with Matt Damon. I can't remember the fucking name of it. Very moving at the end. Had a nice ending. So now you know what it is. I call it the miracle bed. Everyone else calls it the med bed. And again, it was an AI fake news report, Fox News report, with an AI version of Donnie announcing this thing. Why would the president post that? Here's what I'm really wondering, people. I'm really wondering this. Did he think this was real? Did he think he was going to unveil this and be like some hero to the fucking world or something? I wouldn't put it past him. He's that far gone, and he's just not that smart when it comes to shit like this. Grifting? Yeah. He knows every grift there is, and he employs them all. So Donnie posted this for real. That's how far gone this motherfucker is. That's how far gone we are, our country is. This horrifies me that he posted this. Daniel Dale again, the fact check guy from CNN, I believe. The conspiracy theory is that society's elite, the deep state, already has secret access to med beds. Well, they ain't looking too good if they do have access. My God, have you seen these people? The elites? So the elites have secret access to the med beds that we saw in the Matt Damon movie, where only the elites get that special miracle bed so they can live forever. Or that famously dead people like JFK are actually alive on med beds. So the imaginary Fox report has Trump supposedly giving real Americans access to the elite's magic product. This shit is so far out there, and you know, I always think nothing can worry me more about this motherfucker or the situation, the whole thing, the Reich, the whole fucking thing. I really wonder, did he post this and think it's real? And he thought he was going to be some kind of hero. I already know we're doomed, but if that was what his feeble mind was thinking during all this, we're fucking doomed. So now you know the conspiracy theory of you know what the idea is behind the medbed, that only the elites have access and they're withholding it. Like I said, they ain't looking too good if they got access to the miracle bed, man. Okay, this is Mike Johnson on CNN today, and I hate spending time on this guy for even a second, but Jesus Christ, you people. With the Russian propaganda, that's now somehow become fact or something. And it's somehow become an excuse for January 6th. Johnson, we have to hold people accountable. We have to ensure that the law applies to everyone. I assume they're talking about the Comey charges. That's what it says on the banner there. Tapper, I'm surprised he said this. Does the rule of law apply to people who stormed the Capitol on J6? Because Donnie pardoned all those motherfuckers. Remember that? Mr. Law and Order. Mike Johnson, Mr. Law and Order as well, right? The guy who doesn't have a bank account. Because he doesn't want you to know where any money's going. Only reason for Speaker of the fucking House, at however old he is, 40-something, 50, whatever he is, to not have a fucking bank account. There's no good reason for that, son. Not one. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I won't even go into all the other shit about this fucking in-the-closet motherfucker. So Johnson's response to, well, if you're all about law and order, well, does that apply to the J6 people that Caesar pardoned, that took part in his coup? Well, there were 274 FBI agents in the crowd. No, there weren't. 1. 2, even if there were, son, what goddamn difference does that make? That officer that shot that woman, she wasn't no FBI agent, son, trying to break through the window. So what goddamn difference does, if there was one FBI agent in the crowd? And Kash Patel fucked up their whole narrative. He talked about the FBI had to move in after. Who controlled the FBI on J6? Trump. Who handpicked the head of the FBI? Trump. Everything had to go through Donnie that day, and we all fucking know it. And it's a shame all the Russian propaganda bots, trolls, gave you the talking points. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what the fuck to say. Unfortunately, those talking points are not fucking true. So the big response to, hey, you're all about, that the law applies to everyone. Well, what about those J6 people that you pardoned? Oh, well, there were a bunch of FBI agents in the crowd. So? What difference does that fucking make, even if it is true, which it isn't? Okay, the rhetoric from the right-wing machine or the Reich is liberals and everyone are being mean, calling Stephen Miller and the Reich Nazis, the literal Nazi Reich. They believe it, son. It's their religion, not mine. So I understand why people call them Nazis, because that's the religion, Nazism. Steven thinks he's fooling people with his $3 Goebbels impression that he's trying to do every day. He ain't fooling me. I've seen the tape. I know what the people of the Reich did on tape and in front of crowds. Steven's doing the same thing. So the rhetoric is, don't call them fascists, don't call them Nazis, just sit back, let the military subjugate the population, let Greasy Pete roll out the surveillance state, which is coming, son. Again, this ain't Alex Jones, where a motherfucker says it's coming and it ain't coming. Oh, it's coming, and it was you the whole time again, son. Not the liberals. You. So again, calling them fascists is mean when they're literally emulating Hitler and the Third Reich, literally using it as a playbook, as a diagram for what they're doing. As Stevie the Ghoul, who feasts on the bodies of the dead, does his Goebbels impression, because here's what you don't get, people. The way we all idolize like musicians or whatever we're into, these people idolize Nazi officers, the cabinet of the Reich. That's who these people idolize, son. They're doing impressions. Like a musician that likes a certain band, and he basically does an impression of his favorite lead singer or whatever until he finds his voice. But that's how they all start out. So what are these people? They're doing impressions of their idols. Their idols were literal Nazis in the Reich. The Third Reich, that is. So they're doing what Hitler did. You can't demonize us. You can't laugh at us. You can't criticize us. We're Christians. We're socialist. We're the Nazi social or whatever socialist party. We're not what you say we are, when they're literally what everyone said they were. Same thing here. They're doing the same thing Hitler did. Making it illegal or wrong to dare call these people what they are, call out what they're doing. Because they know it's evil and wrong. They just don't care. So, Stephen Miller is one of the loudest voices preaching this gospel. It's what the left calls us and what they say about us. That's why these bad things are happening. They need to tone down the rhetoric. They call us fascists and Nazis. That should be illegal. They can't be doing that. Okay, Stevie the Ghoul, who feasts on the bodies of the dead. There are about 40 comments by Stevie doing exactly what he's telling everyone else not to do. I picked 4. And we shouldn't even waste that much time on this cunt, obviously. The Democrat Party is now a fascist party, using corporate and government power to punish dissent and dissenters. And this is, they're spread out over time. This is just different things Stevie the Ghoul said. The Biden administration's decision to launch a fascist ministry of truth creates an existential new urgency to restoring free speech online and quickly. And by free speech, Stephen means you can say the N-word, you can promote Nazism, hatred of Jews, etc. That's what Stevie's looking for. We now live in a fascist country. Again, the words they say we're not allowed to use: fascist, Nazi, dictatorship, all that stuff. Literally what they all are. We now live in a fascist country. The Biden administration just opened its 4th investigation into Leon that we know of since he purchased this platform and challenged security state censorship. This is undisguised third world retaliation to muzzle and punish dissent, says the literal Nazi Stevie the Ghoul, who idolizes Goebbels. That's how pathetic he is. What a thing to idolize. I don't know. I heard a lot of fascist and allegations in that rhetoric there, Stevie. And you're telling everybody else not to say what you say about other people. And the difference is, Stevie the Ghoul, When they say it about you, it's abject true. Because you're a literal Nazi. You've made it your religion. You've made your life about it. I can tell, Stevie. You can fool these other people out here. You don't fool me. I know Nazi rhetoric the second I hear it, son. I know a Goebbels impression the second I see it. And yours isn't very good. So again, all the words Stevie says not to use against the Reich, he's used against the Biden administration and others. Without hypocrisy and lies and grifting and evil, what would MAGA have? Absolutely fucking nothing. Stevie's a great example. Oh, here's another one. We have descended into third world fascist tyranny. I assume he's talking about Biden. 317-23. Yeah, that would be Biden. Third world fascist tyranny, you say? You mean like what's going on now? Because by the end of it, we will be a third world country, and that's the point, son. They need a fucking slave workforce. They can't have a middle class. Daniel Dale again. The fake MedBeds announcement video has been deleted from Trump's Truth Social. So Donnie realized he made a big fuck up here. Donnie doesn't delete shit. So again, I have a feeling Donnie thought this shit was real. And he thought he was announcing it. And he thought he was going to be a hero. You know how I know that? He took it down. That's how I know that. He didn't say I was joking. I just thought it was cool. I just thought it was a neat idea. I liked the AI video and the whole news. It was just neat. He didn't say none of that. You know what he did do, son? He took it down. Sorry, I lost my place. I'm going to get back to it. So Donnie takes the post down. That means the Reich realized they really fucked up. Trump plans to attend surprise gathering of top generals and admirals this week, sources say. So they pretended it was just Hegseth having some fun. I knew it was never that. You don't assemble all the generals from across the world. You know what a hassle and pain in the ass that is. Unless you got something real to say. Unless you got something important to do. I knew Donnie would be there. Because the point is to pledge their loyalty to Donnie and let a little bit of the plan out to the generals so that, give them a little taste of selling their soul so they can weigh in their mind whether it's worth their soul to hang on to that job. A lot of people are acting like Donnie wants to steal the spotlight. Donnie wasn't supposed to be there. Blah. Oh no, son. I knew the second I heard. There's only one reason to gather all those people in a room all together at once. It's to, weed out who doesn't belong there, according to them. And it's to, are you down with what we about to do? Because if not, we need to get rid of you right now. And the man gonna be standing there. The man, in their case, Donnie Shitbags. Yeah, you don't summon generals from across the fucking globe to a room to all sit together for nothing, son. For a photo op, for a documentary. I've heard all kind of people make all kind of comments. No, son, you don't understand. Hitler did the same thing. You loyal to me, or are you loyal to the Constitution? Be it Germany's or the United States. That's the question. That's what will be presented. And if they don't like it, they can leave. lose your job. Makes it real tempting to just sit there and go along, doesn't it? Especially in America where everything's tied to your job, healthcare, all of it to make you a better slave. That was the intent. Richard Nixon. So you lose everything. You lose your income, your ability to buy things, eat, pay your bills, unless we will all be given that choice at some point. And if you say no, it will be a hard road, son. And I mean say no to the Reich. If you say yes, it will be good for a little while. What will come your way after that, I can't even fully describe the horror, son. Just being honest. So I suggest don't take it. Don't choose to go along when that time comes. You'll know when that time is, trust me. I won't have to tell you. So Trump being at that meeting, I totally expected that. They're going to do exactly what I said. They're going to give a little speech. They're going to give the generals in private a little taste about what's to go on. Or maybe they'll say it publicly. They haven't hid their agenda at all, really. And, they'll get a sense of who's down and who's not, and they'll replace who's not. That's simple. And the checkmate will be final. Full military control. That's what it really is. Really want to consolidate this. Donnie's getting antsy. He wants his enemies arrested and locked up. He's getting antsy. We have to do it now. Remember what he told Pam? And that message that wasn't supposed to be posted publicly? Got to do it now. We've been delaying. In other words, we've planned this for a long time. We always meant to do it. We've been delaying it. I don't want to delay anymore. That's what this meeting is. Next phase, rollout. Who's down? Who's not? Are you loyal to Caesar? Or the document this country was founded on? That's the same question James Comey got. Are you loyal to me? Or are you loyal to the Constitution? James said, I'm loyal to the Constitution. Donnie said, you're fired. Same choice will be given here. Same choice will be given to you. Only you don't work for Donnie. What you will stand to lose is your soul, your eternity. So Donnie was always going to be there, in my opinion. This is no surprise, despite all the people making all these different. No, it ain't just a photo op for a documentary for Pete Hegseth. No fucking way would they summon these people from across the globe for that. There were several shootings today. I heard 2, I heard 4. I can't even keep track of them all in Wild West America. Isn't it great? You go to your church, Latter-day Saints, whatever church you belong to, some psycho with a truck and some American flags mounted on it, rams through and starts shooting the fucking place up. A church, son. What does that tell you, class, what you've seen the past 20, 30 years? Nowhere is safe in this shitbird called America. School, movies, nightclubs, restaurants. That's right, the other dude shot up a restaurant. Mall parking lots. The mall itself. Colleges, schools. Nowhere is your workplace. Do you realize that, son? Do you realize that's your country? Any day you walk out the door could be your motherfucking last. Not because you get hit by a car or this. You go to your job, what some psycho with a, 80-round clip comes in. Nowhere is safe in America. You foreigners, do you hear me? As pretty and fascinating as it all fucking looks over here, as exciting, you know what else goes on every single day? Mass shootings. Anywhere. Theme parks. You name the place. I'm sure America's had one. Think about that. So this is what the church looked like. This is the first picture I saw. There was also reportedly an IED found in the shooter's truck that they crashed into the building prior to the attack. Now, I heard they set the building on fire. I didn't hear about no IED, but that's what this person is saying. So that's what the building looked like, the truck. Second I saw the truck, well, that's all you need to see, right? And you know what's up. You know what the persuasion politically is. Ideologically. Pretty clear, right? By the truck. And when you see the guy, when I show him to you, pretty clear. Again, not a transgender. I'm sorry. Not a liberal either. None of them are. The kid with the transgender roommate that no one's ever seen, he wasn't a liberal either. Why don't they talk about him much anymore, I wonder? I guess the story didn't stick. Oh, that was the Kirk shooter. What's the other shooting? Oh, the guy that shot at Donnie? Yeah, that wasn't a liberal either. Not even fucking remotely close. Why is it all MAGA shooting at MAGA? I wonder. Maybe it has to do with who's a good grooming target and who isn't. Just a thought. Here's another picture, a larger picture, so you get a better view. Again, the truck with the flags. We see it every day. And we know what they're into when they drive by. We know who they're into, what they stand for, everything about them. Michigan shooting update. That was the church one because, you never know which shooting someone's talking about in a video because there's so many. I believe, was there 4 today? 40-year-old male suspect killed by law enforcement. 10 shot, 1 confirmed dead. Death toll expected to go up. Ram Church started firing during active service. Fire deliberately set. So they set it on fire, and I'll show you what it looks like after everything was all over, the fire, everything. Now, the Department of Labor, America's future depends on you. Make America skilled again. And look at the poster. Wow. I feel like I'm in 1930s Germany, don't you? This is the exact kind of poster you would see back then. I mean, exactly, to the letter, to the T, everything. There's a reason for that. This is a Reich, son. It's a white supremacist movement. Hence, we keep seeing poster that looks like this. The same kind of persuasion of gentlemen they put on the front of all these Department of Labor propaganda posters. I wonder why that is. It's probably the same reason Alex Jones grew a Hitler mustache, despite the reasons he says. Just a guess. Oh, Donnie, I really didn't talk about it. Donnie wanted the Amelia Earhart files released the other day. I guess he was hoping that would make you forget about Epstein or something. No one gives a fuck about Amelia Earhart anymore. I mean, no one. And some random poster is talking about it. I read some of the Amelia Earhart files. It was crazy that her last radio transmission was her asking for the release of the Epstein files. It caught me off guard. I laughed when I read it. Damn clever work. Well done, son. Donnie put a post up, make crime illegal again. Okay, I'm just going to say this, all right? The guy that puts in all caps, make crime illegal again, because he's trying to build a Reich and subjugate you and use law enforcement and different things against his revengeless people and you and me and everyone that's not down. That's what he's trying to do with this bullshit. Why is it bullshit? Because Donnie, I don't know if you know, he's a convicted felon. He's an adjudicated rapist, fraud, defamer. And defamer means you intentionally lied about somebody. He stole 3,000 classified documents. He staged a coup against this nation that got people killed. He got to skate for 4 years. Never got the cuffs slapped on him once. He had to show up to court a fucking few times. Wow. I'm impressed. If it was any of us, we'd be under the fucking jail. Again, Donnie has done all those things, and on top of that, he's Jeff Epstein's best friend, and we saw the birthday card. Indisputable, verifiable. Everyone knows he wrote it. Everyone knows what the subject matter is. Rubes, Russian trolls and bots. You know how we know? Because it has a young woman's silhouette around the words. So we know exactly what's being discussed, don't we? Especially when the signature, is used to, be a part of a woman's anatomy. Then we really know what the subject matter is, don't we? That's the guy writing in all caps, make crime illegal again. So he can use the law against you. Motherfucker should have 9 life sentences for all the crimes he's fucking committed. Are you fucking kidding me? A walking fucking crime spree. Again, rhetoric, calling people fascists and Nazis when they're literal Nazis. Leon did the salute. We all know what it is. Donnie did his on July 4th. Got a little, got a little uppity, got a little, a little inebriated. Started grabbing Melania when he knows she can't fucking stand him. And, he did the little salute. I noticed. And again, it's St. Alex Jones, son. So rhetoric. We've got Tim the shill for Russia pool here. The verified shill for Russia pool. Took that Russian money, didn't even think about giving it back, son. Why would Tim Pool incite violence like this? Joe Biden is a fascist. Oh, wait a minute. I thought it was wrong. How come you people can call Joe Biden a fascist, a dictator, all that? Well, you can't handle it when people call you that. Oh, because we're pointing out what you actually are and what you're actually doing. Joe wasn't doing none of that. Stephen Miller, the Democrat Party is now a fascist party using corporate and government power to punish dissent and dissenters. No. Nope. All that shit, they were pointing fingers. They're the ones always getting banned, blah, blah. They're the ones facing all the pushback, blah, blah, blah. No, because you're committing crimes. That's why. Joe wasn't doing that. Let's not pretend he was. Miller's a fucking Nazi. Tim Pool's a verified paid shill for Russia. Now, if I throw Tim Pool, Stephen Miller, and Joe Biden, paid verified shill for Russia, Tim Pool, Did he even graduate high school? Stephen the Ghoul Miller, straight up Nazi, or Joe Biden? I'm gonna pick Joe. And I would trust Joe before I trust either of these cunts. Immigrants with no criminal record are now the largest group in ICE detention. Government data shows 16,000 people with no record versus 15,000 with a record and 13,000 with pending charges. So the largest number of people is people without a record. Again, they told us the worst of the worst. We learned a long time ago that was a complete and utter lie. They just rounded up Latin people. It's that simple. That's all that's fucking happening. And eventually, again, like I always tell you, they will get to you. That's the real moral of this incident. That's the real point of this exercise. It ain't just to get illegals out the country, although, they love doing that. The real point, and you know it, is to get to you. To where they can just grab anyone they want. That's why they're taking us in little steps towards that end goal. Setting those precedents. And they're almost there. Where they just call you Antifa, and they're going to use this. They just call you Antifa, now you're a terrorist, now we can deport you, send you to fucking Rwanda, anywhere. I'm serious. These things will happen. That's their wet dream. They want to be able to grab any American citizen that they feel needs to go away and make go away. Far, far away. Like they did to the Venezuelans they sent to El Salvador. That exact thing. Can you imagine? I imagined a long time ago because I knew where it was going. Gavin Newsom puts the definition of fascism up: an authoritarian far-right political ideology defined by a dictatorial leader, aggressive nationalism, suppression of opposition, tight control over all aspects of society. Yeah, dictatorship, fascism, yep. And far-right is right. That's what Hitler was. Right-wing nationalist movement became a right-wing. White nationalist movement became straight-up dictatorship. Same thing here. No difference. That's why when I was a child even, maybe not that far back, maybe I'm exaggerating there. When I was a teenager, when I thought of right-wing politics, when I looked at it all, saw what they were doing, saw what they were saying, I said to myself, well, they seem like the closest thing to fascism I've ever seen. And it seems like that's the direction they want to go. Look at us now, son. And look what side the aisle it's on. And look what side the aisle all the traitors are. That all took Russian money. Been spouting Russian talking points to the detriment of their nation. The detriment that will lead to, this is how big the detriment is, the end of the fucking empire. You morons that took that Russian cash. Thinking about yourself in the short term. Fuck the country, fuck everybody else. No, it's gonna fuck you too. That's what you didn't know. I did. When you sell out your nation to your enemies, to our enemies, fuck you think's gonna happen? End of the empire, son. That's what's gonna fucking happen. And you made it happen. And so many of you rich will go down with this. A lot of you already have. I know you thought you were smart. I get that a lot. A lot of people I interact with, I watch walk around, I see with the shiny suits on. I know how smart they think they are. They wear it on their sleeve. when in reality, they're a fucking toddler. They have no idea what they've done and the horrors that are coming. Look at it already. No idea. All they see is dollar signs and when am I going to go drop off my dry cleaning? Or maybe I'll get the maid to do it. Are Trump and Miller fascists? An authoritarian far-right political ideology defined by a dictatorial leader? Well, yeah. Aggressive nationalism? Oh my God. Suppression of opposition? Well, anything to win. That's Donnie's motto. Seeks tight control over all aspects. Yep, Donnie's remaking this whole thing into a Reich in his image. The White House in his image. Look at the ballroom. Dwarfs the fucking White House. In his image, son. That's what you're witnessing. All aspects of society remade in the Reich's image or Donnie's image. Literally what Dugan talked about when he applied it to AI. Same principle. We must remake AI in our image. We cannot let it be woke Trumpo-futurism. Same thing here. All aspects of society. Kennedy Center, everything. Did you notice that? I did. That's what Hitler did too. Remade Germany in the Reich's image and his image. All aspects of society. You're living in that time now, son. Whether you agree, disagree, acknowledge, don't acknowledge, care, don't care, don't matter. Tsunami still a-coming. Oh, here's Amelia Earhart. We found her. And she has a message. Look at it. Can you read that? Lost picture of Amelia. Maybe this got released in the files. I don't know. It says, nice try. Release the files. Amelia Earhart. Clever. I like it. I like it. Caught me off guard again. This is Donnie's talking about the shooting. I'll read a little bit. I have been briefed on the horrendous shooting that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The FBI was immediately on the scene and will be leading the federal investigation and providing full support to state and local officials. The suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on the Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. No, Donnie, you disappear for 6 days. You don't keep shit posted. Fuck out of here. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately, says the guy sent in the military into Chicago and every other city. What a fucking joke. Attack against Christians, as if he gives a fuck about that. He was trying to turn it into, again, a left versus right thing. That's where he's going for. But he had probably already gotten reports that the guy had a truck and a couple flags mounted on the back. And yeah, he looked pretty fucking MAGA, man. So they couldn't even pretend with this guy the way they did with the Kirk shooter, Donnie shooter, some other shooter. I can't remember right now. None of them were liberals, son, not one of them. This guy especially, my God. They can't even pretend. And think of all the fabricating they've been doing. Stephen and Donnie and Pam Bondi, all out there. Antifa and the left-wing violence and blah, blah, blah. They were, on bullshit cloud nine then. Imagine trying to make this one into a liberal. Oh, my God. It's just not going to happen. But they were hoping. But they didn't even try this time. For some reason, and again, I'm going to show you the picture. For some reason, we aren't hearing any leads from Kash Patel or Pam Bondi on this one. No bullets with engravings like, you know, I hate MAGA or something, or I hate Christians and I'm a transgender or something. No? No? And this is one of the first images that came out again. I'll show you it. I'll show you it again. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's like 4 in the fucking morning. So I'm sure Donnie saw that immediately. That's why his post, he wasn't trying to say transgender and this and that. He saw this picture. And again, Kash and Pam, they're not all over it. I don't understand. Not that the other ones were liberals either. Not even fucking close. You gotta be kidding me. They're all kids, white kids from the woods that know how to shoot. You don't see many liberals out that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any this is war tweets from MAGAs after one of their own shoots up a church. Indeed. What about they're coming to kill us and all that? What happened to that? Oh yeah, that was all bullshit. Because there was no they. It was just white kids that grew up in MAGA families. This was a MAGA father. This person. So again, where's the this is war and they're coming after us and all that? No? Yeah, MAGA's coming after MAGA. That's what it looks like to me. Who knows? Maybe, maybe it's God doing it. Some weird punishment or something. I don't know. It sure is very strange. I know at least one of these shooters was groomed. I could tell. I won't say which one. I've already said it before. I won't say it now. The other ones I'm not sure of. Well, they ain't liberals. I know that. They ain't transgender. So there goes that narrative. There goes the new wave of left-wing fucking violence that people are writing about that I don't see, son. Donnie did this today. Again, anyone that dares says this person cares about anyone but himself and the grift. As we're all out here paying ridiculous prices for everything because everything's gone up. People are wondering how they're going to get groceries, how they're going to pay their mortgage, their rent, their car note, all of it. People are barely hanging the fuck on. This cunt with your money. This is what he's talking about today. This is a post by Donnie. And there was a video that went with it so he could show it off. Some of the highest quality 24 karat gold used in the Oval Office cabinet room of the White House. Foreign leaders and everyone else freak out, that's in quotes, when they see the quality and beauty. Best Oval Office ever in terms of success and look. President DJT. See, when he writes the tweet, you can tell, or the post, that's Donnie. He wrote that. And you know who that reminds me of again, people? All three of you? Grandma. You remember Grandma? What I just read sounds just like her. They should have got married. They really should have. They would have been perfect for each other. Donnie's bragging about the 24 karat gold all over the Oval Office that you're paying for. And he says when foreign leaders come, wow, it's just so amazing. That's what he's saying. They freak out. This is what Caesar is thinking of as we all out here struggling. And whose money is he using to buy it all? Yours. Is it 24 karat gold? No, it's spray painted probably from fucking Lowe's or Home Depot gold fucking spray paint and lattice work, whatever the fuck that shit is. Trim for walls. Decorative trim, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Here's the video, a still shot of it. Best Oval Office ever in terms of success and look. He's supposed to be president. He's supposed to be trying to figure out how to help us solve some of our problems out here in peasant world. So this is what he was showing on video, and the video did kind of a sweep of all the different things he was putting up. Fucking hideous, all of it. On a Sunday, this is what he's posting. And you know damn well Donnie ain't paying for it, son. You know who's paying for it. Unbelievable. The grift. Again, we're fucking doomed. Look at the problems we all face. Be ye rube, non-rube, whatever you fucking believe in. Whatever you got going on in your fucking life. Look at the problems we face. The cunt in the White House is posting videos of all the gold he's putting on the walls. Saying it's 24 karat and all world leaders love it. And you're paying for it. That's why your country's over, son. You think that's okay? You thought that was okay the first time around? Now you got Donnie the Antichrist on fucking steroids. Unbelievable. Again, he just proves what he is, who he is, and that all of you are pure as the driven snow marks that have your name on it. Believe in him in any way, shape, or form. As you pay for the gold on his walls in the office he's never going to leave until he dies. This is what the church looks like after dude burn it down. There ain't much left. I mean, can you imagine being in your church, whatever you believe in, and some fucking psycho with a pickup truck with flags mounted on it rams through the wall, starts shooting up the fucking place, then burns it down, son. Out of nowhere. Holy shit. And again, nowhere's safe in America anymore. You think you're safe at your job, your church, your school? Nope. We know that ain't true. Holy fuck, there's like nothing left. Burnt like the whole thing down. That's parking lot behind it. Jesus. Iraq war veteran Thomas Sanford has been identified as the gunman who attacked the Grand Blanc LDS church, killing 2 people and setting it on fire. That's what he looks like. Yeah, that ain't no liberal. That ain't no transgender. It's not a dark-complected individual. Just more MAGA. None of them were liberals. The ones they name lately, the ones they bring up, not a fucking one of them. They all like this guy. They grew up in the woods and they know how to shoot. And they're white. This is Daryl Issa, and I'm reading this not because of Daryl Issa and because I give a shit. It makes a point. Rep Daryl Issa, enough is enough. I'm drafting legislation to establish an Antifa most wanted list. It's time for zero tolerance of this domestic terrorism. Now, I told you and you know, Antifa does not fucking exist. Daryl Issa knows that. The Reich knows that. So why is he saying this? If an organization doesn't exist, well, you can't have an Antifa most wanted list, right? Right. So what does that mean? Look how far they're willing to take the fantasy. They're going to take the fantasy even further when they start pointing at people and saying, you're Antifa, now you're a terrorist. Simply because we proclaim it, not because you actually are. And again, Antifa doesn't exist. This man is talking about a list of most wanted with Antifa as the title, an organization that does not exist. That's how far they're willing to take this fantasy. And again, they're going to take it all the way to where they start pointing at people. He's Antifa. She's Antifa. That means you're a terrorist. That means we can do anything since the George Bush years. Remember those laws that were passed? You get labeled a terrorist. We can take you down to Guantanamo. We can take you anywhere. Now there's special rules, special laws, special loss of rights. Again, every person that brings this Antifa word up knows damn well it doesn't exist. That makes it much more nefarious, doesn't it, son? The agenda involving that word. Yes, it does. And they're going to make it a reality. By calling people that. This is the other shooter. Here's a picture of him, and I'll give you the name. I believe they were both veterans. This guy, I think, pulled up on a boat and shot up a restaurant in North Carolina or something. The exact details don't even matter anymore. Again, Caucasian gentleman. The man arrested for the shooting at the North Carolina waterfront bar overnight is Nigel Edge, formerly Sean DeBevois, who changed his name in 2023 and appeared in his Marine uniform on the 2012 red carpet alongside Pickler, serving as her special date for the evening, accompanied by his service dog, Rusty, as reported by the New York Post. No liberal has a service dog named Rusty, first of all. In lawsuits and a book detailing his combat experience, Edge claimed he was the target of friendly fire in a plot he alleged was orchestrated by LGBTQ white supremacists because of his sexual orientation as a straight man. Law enforcement sources described Edge as also harboring numerous QAnon conspiracy theories. No, he belongs in a fucking padded cell, it sounds like to me. He's just not right in the head. Maybe if he would have got put in one, and that doesn't mean torture the man. That just means, he needs psychiatric fucking care. Permanently. And he probably would have been, had a nice mellow life, just chilling. Would have had him on whatever drugs, because he obviously can't be in society. Look what he fucking did. And he could have just chilled at the facility. Would have saved some lives, too. This is Governor Pritzker giving you an update on the military takeover of your country. The Trump admin's DHS officers appear to be carrying large weapons around downtown Chicago in camouflage and masks. This is not making anybody safer. It's a show of intimidation, instilling fear in our communities and hurting our businesses. Yep. And setting precedent. And he set that all the way back in Cali. So too late. Just wanted to let you know what the governor was seeing in his city. And give you an update on the military takeover of your country. And that phrase, that's the literal truth. That's not drama. That's just what we're living in. What did he say again? DHS officers appear to be carrying large weapons around downtown Chicago in camouflage and masks. We cannot normalize militarizing American cities and suburbs. Make sure you know your rights and stay alert. Well, that doesn't really help when Governor Pritzker or Newsom or anyone says that. It's already been normalized. It's too late. And they're the governor of the state. They're not doing anything to stop it. The LDS shooter, Thomas Jacob Sanford, and his entire family aren't just Trump supporters. They're hardcore MAGA conspiracy lunatics. His Facebook is still up, and there's some pictures here, but they're too small. You can't really tell what's going on in them. So people took a look at his Facebook. They saw the MAGA type pictures, you know, the camouflage hunting outfits and the whole thing. I believe both of these men were veterans. Oh, maybe he wasn't. Oh, his combat experiences. Okay, yeah, he's a veteran. Nigel Edge. That's not his real name, of course. Okay, McCabe did an interview on CNN today, and I found this very striking, this little clip right here. That was second in charge of the FBI. I guess he was in charge of the FBI once Comey was gone for a little bit. Until Donnie got rid of him, too. I can't remember how it all played out. I know McCabe was fired, and they tried to fire him before he got his pension. He was just supposed to get his pension. Very evil shit, man. McCabe. His intention is vengeance. That is what he's going after. I don't think there's anything that will stop him. Tapper. Are you worried that you're going to become a target? McCabe. Of course. Who wouldn't be, right? That's why my ass would have got out the country if I had the means. Comey probably has the means. I bet McCabe has the means as well. Maybe not, since he didn't get his pension. I don't know. Yeah, I probably would have got out of country if I was on the revenge list. Why give him the opportunity? Why make it easy? Make him work for it. But this part where McCabe says, I don't think there's anything that will stop him. Yep. That's what I've been trying to say. And there's a phrase in Scripture. I'm sure you've heard it. It's been used in movies and books, to scare people. Who can make war with the beast? Donnie skated through everything his whole life, even an insurrection, son. Even stealing classified documents in the thousands. Now he's going forth conquering and to conquer, and he will do more. He's just getting started on that. Who can make war with the beast? And if we want to talk literal war, well, again, I've been saying since before the election, remember, CEOs, lawyers, elites, peasants, rubes. Remember what I was saying? What Donnie would have if you give him the keys? Class? Rubes? CEOs? Lawyers that were watching the videos? The most powerful fighting force that's ever existed on this planet. Larger than anyone's on Earth. The budget's 1,000 times the size of anyone's on Earth. We are the nation of war, son. Who can make war with that? Nobody. Who can make war with Donnie as he's having people arrested, as he's deploying the military? Nobody. A lot of those little pieces of scripture make a lot of sense now. Donnie's a very special individual. Not special in a good way or talented way. That's not what I mean. What I mean is he really personifies these pieces of scripture that are very strange. Like, who can make war with the beast? Well, every empire's fallen. Every king has been defeated at some point. Right? Not this time. Didn't have modern technology before. America made sure they manufactured, bought, rented, invented whatever they could. And whatever the largest country has, we have infinitely more. Equipment, money put in, foundation laid for war. All over the world, we got bases everywhere, man. No one else can boast this. Russia tries, they can't begin to compete. We have bases everywhere. Of course, Donnie wants all those countries to pay Donnie as a protection racket. But that ain't what the bases are for. To spread out the forces, and in case certain areas of the world want to start shit, we got people nearby. That's all. All for America's interests, no one else's. I don't think there's anything that will stop him. That's what I've been trying to say. In my own way, I can tell McCabe's getting scared. Because he understands now. So does Comey now. Yeah, this motherfucker's serious. He's really coming after everybody. Even though we did nothing wrong. This, again, is what I was trying to say before the election for 10 years, especially the months, the year leading up to this last election. I was begging everybody, you give him the keys, forget about it. No one will be able to stop him. He'll have the control and the sycophants in place. He'll have the most powerful weapon ever on earth that's ever been. Nothing can compare to the American military, what we have. Not even close. It would take something crazy like China and Russia and Europe all joining against us to be even a consideration. And that'll never happen. So again, I say, who can make war with the beast? Nobody. That's why, if all this is what I think it is, we got to ride this wave all the way to the end. A lot of us probably won't be here at the end. I don't think I will. Because at the end, it's going to take something supernatural to stop all this. Why? Because no one else can. Why? Because Donnie has the biggest, most powerful weapon that this planet has ever birthed. The U.S. military and the arsenal of weapons. He could tell Vlad to fuck off tomorrow if he felt like it. I'm surprised he hasn't. He's starting to, I think, lean that way, though. I think he's starting to desire to really snap that leash. Because Vlad is not cooperating. Vlad's not giving an inch, even pretending to cooperate. Donnie can only take that for so long. Donnie has an agenda. I don't think there's anything that will stop him. That's what I've been trying to tell you. That's why I begged everybody, please don't. It's too late. No one's going to stop any of this. It's going to have to, again, the wave's going to have to break, dissipate. And according to the story, there's a great war, which the whole world's obviously leading up to that. My God, that's painfully obvious. And Christ is supposed to come back and destroy the people on the battlefield. Whoever the enemies of Christ are, I assume. And there will be so much blood, it will be like horse bridle high. In other words, if this is all what I think it is, which it appears to be, man got to a point where they couldn't stop the end. They couldn't stop the destruction, the chaos, the evil. Maybe Donnie does something so crazy in the future, or the Reich does that, imperils the entire planet. In other words, man finally got to a point where they can't solve the problem. And we're talking global destruction, just all kind of terrible things. Man got to the point where I guess you could say God finally has to step in. Otherwise, again, who can make war with the beast? Nobody. God's the only one. Unfortunately, God waits till the end, and a lot of us die before then. That's the shitty part. And again, confirmed, Jake wearing a Trump Make Liberals Cry Again shirt, as if the hunting outfit wasn't enough to show he wasn't a liberal. Liberals don't dress like that. Never. That's total MAGA, mentality, guys that dress in those outfits, in the hunting outfits. You see them. They'll have the hats too. They make shoes with that pattern. Just the hunting pattern. Not the camo that the military wears. Hunting camo. You've seen the outfits. You saw him wearing one. So as if we needed him in the Trump t-shirt. You know what I mean? Look, he's MAGA. And the biggest terror threat since the 90s is white nationalists. MAGA type people. Most of the shooters. Here we are again. 2 of them today. I don't know what the other 2 shootings were. I can't keep track of it all. But again, I want to go back to this McCabe thing and end with that. I don't think there's anything that will stop him. That's why God is required in this one. That's why the story goes the way it does. Because the Antichrist has such a grip on the planet and has a weapon that no one can defeat, the American military and all of the arsenal that is stockpiled here. It makes sense that would be the point that Christ has to return. If he didn't, it's probably like global destruction or something with Donnie's shitbag, Satan, and the Reich. I mean, if there's a battlefield as big as Armageddon, that battlefield is described, I mean, who knows how many nukes could have already gone off before that moment. I mean, that's kind of old school, gathering a large force on a battlefield. That's like, medieval type shit. Or, what's that period? I can't even remember. I'm very tired. The Redcoats, the British versus the Americans. That type, big formations of men. In medieval times as well. Same thing. you don't see that these days. That's not really how warfare is done. So it's going to get to a point, it appears that's why the story goes the way it does, from what I'm seeing. Now, the reason Christ comes back, because if he didn't, there'd be jack shit left. And no one else again. Who can make war with the beast? Well, God and Christ can make war with whoever the fuck they feel like. They run shit. And are the only ones that can. With this force, think about it. The American military. We have bases across this country. We've got bases across the world. We got missiles everywhere. We got every aircraft carrier, everything you can think of, son. Training and the troops as well. You don't need as many troops now. God, the jets we have. I forgot about those. Again, nothing can even remotely take us on. You might get a few shots in here and there, but in the end, man, forget about it. America just invested so much more than other nations. Is that a good thing? No. But it was done. I agree with McCabe, and that's what I've been trying to tell you, and that's what you need to prepare yourself for. And it enrages me by the day, even though I know it's happening. I know exactly what's going to happen and where all this goes. So you need to mentally prepare. There's nothing that's going to stop this or him until the end. And the story says it takes Jesus Christ himself to stop this. And again, what happens to the people that take the mark, I can't, again, fully describe the horror, so don't take it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. It's like 5 a.m., 5:30 or something. I'll put the PayPal up if you want to help. Until the next episode.